Hello everybody, I am Keaton and this is Kid Catholic Season 11, Episode 20. I hope that you are having an absolutely wonderful Tuesday so far. I know that I am. Sorry about the lack of a video last week. I meant to give a warning the week before finals week at school just got ahead of me, but got through it. We are to Christmas week. I hope that you guys are having a great Christmas season so far, a great Advent season so far. And what I wanted to talk about today is the season of, or is Christmas specifically. But before I get into that, I do want to explain, guys, we are trying to get to 6,000 subscribers, and you clicking the red subscribe button really does help the ministry grow as a whole. You don't get emails. It's not like a paid thing. It's all free. You don't get harassed with anything, but it really does help this ministry, this channel, to reach more people, get a bigger audience. And so I would really appreciate you subscribing. And if you are already subscribed, just messaging your friends, messaging your family, asking if some of them have seen the channel, asking them to subscribe as well, because that really does help this ministry to grow. So what I want to talk about today is Christmas. Now, I know that we've heard the Christmas story a million times, right? The story of Jesus' birth. It is a beautiful story, and the reason we've heard it so much is because it has so much importance, right? It is, after all, the story of how our world began to be redeemed. The story of redemption begins with the birth of Jesus, with the Savior of the universe coming to earth, coming through the Blessed Virgin Mary. And so that is, of course, an important story, but since we have heard it a lot, what I want to talk about today is specifically how Christmas is seen as a holiday today and how, in fact, it is not a secular one. So Christmas obviously has a lot of secular elements to it. Secular meaning non-religious. It has a lot of elements to it that aren't related to Jesus. Some of that being sort of the red and green Christmas trees, right? Ornaments, giving each other presents, all this stuff, right? Now, Santa Claus obviously does because of Saint Nick, so he's related in a way, but what I am saying is Christmas itself is seen as something that is secular, right? We have a whole bunch of Christmas movies, a whole bunch of Christmas TV shows, and guys, don't get me wrong, I like these things, right? I like Christmas movies. I think that Christmas music is great, right? I like a lot of the secular elements of Christmas, and we should, right? There's nothing inherently bad about them. However, when the focus begins to shift to those and away from Jesus' birth, which is what is most important, that's when it starts to become an issue. And I think that we're seeing more and more every year that it is an issue, because people who aren't Christians celebrate the season of Christmas as if it has no meaning, right? Obviously, we want everybody to celebrate Christmas, but we want people to celebrate Christmas for the correct reason, that being the birth of Jesus. I am not saying that all these Christmas movies, all the Christmas music, the red and the green, all of this is bad. That's not what I'm saying. I love it all myself. However, what I am saying is we need to shift our focus to Jesus Christ's birth being what Christmas is all about. Because obviously we hear that all the time, right? Christmas is really about Jesus. We hear that so much, but I feel like oftentimes we fail to actually take that and put it into action. Take it and make it have meaning. And so I want to talk about how we do that, because it can sound a little bit difficult on the surface. There are a couple of things. One, we need to make it about Jesus for ourselves, and then two, we need to do so within our society as well. I know that those sound like difficult things, but they're actually a lot simpler than we make them out to be. One, understanding that, yes, the secular elements to Christmas are a good thing, but putting the focus back on Jesus. How do we do this? Well, we do it through taking action. Something that my family does, and I would encourage even your family to do, and it may be something little, but it really is appreciative, is, I mean, if you think about it, it's Jesus' birthday, and we're all giving each other presents, right? It kind of seems unfair, right? Like, Jesus should be the one getting presents. Obviously, that's a little bit difficult, but what we like to do is we sort of make a cake. We don't sort of make a cake. We do make a cake. And by we, I mean not myself. I can't make a cake, but my family does. And we actually we make a birthday cake for Jesus. We sing Jesus Happy Birthday on Christmas. And so that's one little thing that we could do. Obviously, morning prayer before opening presents, a whole bunch of different things, even if they're small, that we could fit into Christmas Day itself to re-put the focus on Jesus, right? Giving him the birthday cake, singing him a happy birthday, going to Mass together, which is big, either on Christmas Eve or on Christmas morning, which of course is something that we all do. It is a holy day of obligation. This year falls on a Saturday. And so These things are so essential to Christmas Day. And even if it's something little, of course, giving each other presents is a good thing. I'm not saying it's not. But even if it's something little, stuff like that really does help to know that it's a Christmas season as a whole, because it is about Jesus himself. At the end of the day, it's all about him. And so we need to remember that. So one, make it about Jesus for ourselves. Put the focus onto Jesus's birth for ourselves within our own spiritual life. But when I say all of society, that kind of sounds pretty difficult, because it's not like one person could just go out and be like, hey, society, it's about Jesus, and then just everybody's like, oh yeah, okay, and then they go right back into it. No, that's not how it works. It's going to be difficult, and it's not something that we are going to be able to do on our own. But it does take all of us, right? There's 1 billion Catholics in the world, right? Some of us, or I'd say a lot of them, practicing Catholics. And so, therefore, we need to all, each individually, step up during the Christmas season. And we have the gift of social media now, which can be a curse, but it can be a gift. And exemplify that it's Jesus's birth, right? Maybe it's a post reshared to our Instagram story. Maybe it's just talking to a friend about it. Maybe it's wearing a Catholic t-shirt one day, right? So the same sort of thing that we do to evangelize. I've explained evangelization a lot on this channel and how we sort of come to evangelize through little ways, not necessarily giving talks. It's this, well, we can, but not always that. It's the same sort of thing when it comes to making Christmas about Jesus Christ. Because at the end of the day, it is not a secular holiday. It's just not. It is a Christian holiday. It is a Catholic holiday in every sense of the word. Christmas is. It just is. And so, yeah, obviously we want our atheist brothers and sisters and everybody to be celebrating Christmas, but we don't just want them to be celebrating Christmas because, oh, it's just another holiday like Halloween. Right? Like that's not what we want. It's just another holiday like Halloween, like 4th of July, right? Of course those are good holidays, but we want them to celebrate it for Jesus. And obviously that's going to be a difficult thing. Not everybody is going to do so, and there's nothing we can do about that. But what we can do is let the world know, little by little, just through baby steps, that ultimately this holiday that we are approaching this Saturday, yeah, all the red and green, all the festiveness, I love it. I think that it is amazing. I think that that's part of what makes Christmas the best holiday, is that there's a whole season with it, right? There's all these movies, music that comes with it. I think it's great. But ultimately, we would have none of that. Christmas would not be a thing if it wasn't for Jesus, if it wasn't for Jesus' birth. In fact, it's not just that Christmas wouldn't be a thing. Redemption wouldn't be a thing, right? Redemption of the world would not be a thing if it wasn't for Jesus' birth 2,000 years ago. Because that's what Christmas is, a celebration of Jesus, a celebration of Jesus' birth through Mary. It's actually pretty interesting. This has to do with Jesus too, but not really the secular side of it. We hear the story all the time of like Jesus being born in a stable and all these animals around him. I was actually lucky enough several years ago to get to go to Israel myself, visit Bethlehem, visit the place where Jesus was born. There's a church there where Jesus was born. He actually wasn't born in a stable. He was born in a cave. It was sort of a mistranslation. Or I'm not even sure. No, it never says stable within the Bible. If you actually look, it's not a mistranslation. It just never says the word stable. It never says like Jesus was born in a stable within the Bible, which is crazy. But you know, I mean, it's a good story. But he was actually born in a cave, which is, I mean, I think I just want to add that in because I think that's something kind of neat, something kind of cool to add in case we weren't aware of Jesus's birth and sort of logistically how that went out. Anyway. Point being, Christmas, at the end of the day, is Christian, is Catholic in every sense of the word. Christmas is not something secular. Christmas is not something that just has nothing to do with Jesus. It is about Jesus in every way, shape, and form. And we should do our best to make that known throughout the world. So, now that the topic is done, y'all know what it's time for now? It's time for
the Saint of the Week.
And today's Saint of the Week is, of course, Saint Nick. I couldn't do a Christmas episode and not do Saint Nick. I'm pretty sure I've talked about Saint Nick for like every Christmas episode, but so be it. He's just that Christmassy because, of course, Saint Nick later became Santa Claus. So Saint Nick's original story is actually pretty interesting, yet not a lot is known about it. He was a a late 3rd century saint, is around when he was born. And we do know that he was a bishop of Myra, which is sort of in Asia Minor at that time. And what's mainly known about him is the story of him giving to an poor man. There was a poor man who had 3 daughters who were of marriageable age, and the man couldn't afford for them to be married. And then if that happened, if a daughter wasn't married, they were essentially sold, right? They were essentially sort of made a slave for the rest of their life. So on 3 separate occasions, Saint Nick secretly threw a bag of gold into this poor man's window so that all 3 of his daughters could eventually get married, and he could afford for them to get married. This is what led Saint Nick to this gift-giving charitable ideology that eventually led on to Santa Claus, who of course gives us all gifts on Christmas Eve. So that is just an absolutely incredible thing. Saint Nick obviously is incredible with his charitableness and his use of charity toward everybody else, and still to this day, right, being able to give gifts to every single one of us. So anytime we feel like we're really struggling with that charitableness, I mean, especially during the time of the Christmas season, I feel like the Christmas day is really about charity. Obviously, it's about Jesus. That's what this whole episode was about. But a big part of that is charity and is gift giving, right? And I don't know about you guys, too often I find myself more excited to receive gifts than give, and it should be the opposite, right? We should be excited to give to others, excited to celebrate Jesus' birth, because that is what it is all about. So anytime we feel that we may be struggling with that, we may be struggling with this idea of charitableness, with this idea of giving, we can always look to Saint Nick for help. Saint Nick, pray for us. So before you guys click off this video, once again, please click the red subscribe button. It really does help. Also, I am not just a YouTuber. I also go giving talks. I would love to come get to speak to your church, youth group, men's group, women's group, school, whatever it might be. If you want me to reach out, if you want to reach out to me to speak, please email me directly at kidcatholic1@gmail.com or go to my website, kidcatholic.com, click the contact me page and email me from there. If you want to know sort of how I am as a speaker, then there is a speaking engagements tab on my website. So if you go to kidcatholic.com, once again, you just click that. There's a video of a talk that I have given and some more details about several of the talks that I've given across the country. Also, there is your very own Kid Catholic shop up there, so you can get a whole bunch of Kid Catholic merch. It really does help to support this channel function, so I would really appreciate that. Appreciate it if you went to check that out. Please check out 3 of my social medias, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. The link to all 3 of those will be in the description down below. Please comment any saint or topic suggestions that you might have for future videos, and I just might get to it. I hope that you all have a wonderful Christmas this Saturday, spending time with your family, celebrating the birth of Jesus. This was Keaton of Catholic. I'll see you all next week. Hi, Brio.